Sometimes it might be a trap. Sometimes when you're getting people where you think that it's your intellect, with your own ability. And it's good for me to also just realize that everything for them to have those breakthroughs or have the miracles, I want to pray for them so that God does the work. And I'm not putting the burden on myself to say, oh yeah, they have to get this result. If I tell them this is what they're going to get. So I just want to remove that pressure off myself by praying and submitting everything to God at the same time. So that's just my own thing that I'm, thinking about and reflecting on right now. It's just to submit everything, pray about everything, and just pray for everyone that their relationship with God is in the right place and they're able to be on fire for God again. And if they're looking to lose weight or get in shape, get healthier, I'm also praying that I can give them the information, give them everything, programs, plans, coach them, talk to them. But at the end, when we're not together, because at that point, like I can't control what someone is doing all the time, right? Like that's just a given. But I'm praying for that person to find their breakthrough, to keep on holding. Because again, it's what you find is, especially when it comes to like health and wellness or anything to do with fitness as well, like you find that when you talk to people, the reasons that they're not in the place that they want to be is because emotionally and spiritually, they're not aligned. And they think that it's a motivation problem, but it's not a motivation problem. It's a misalignment problem. Somewhere deep down in their spirit and in their mind, they're not aligned. They're not aligned. They want something. Mentally, they're like, logically, I want this. Spiritually, they know that they want to get there, but then their mind and the emotions are the indicator where they are. Their mind and their spirit are not aligned on where they want to go. And their body is kind of confused. So they end up in this spiral where it's just, it's just spiraling. So it's unique for everyone. But it's realizing that there's a part where we just all need the Holy Spirit to intervene for us to become aligned. Right. So this is like what it comes down to. Because a lot of times people try to separate their own health, their own fitness from their spiritual life and the emotions or how they feel. They try to separate those. It's almost like separating the body, like you're disassociating your body and your spirit at the same time. But we're not created like that. And the moment you fix that, you become the same person throughout. It also starts showing in your relationships. It starts showing in your work. And your finances affected as well in the same way. So you want to make sure that you're aligned, you're focused, and you're doing the right things. So this is something that I personally now, as I work with people, like I understand, and it's something that needs to be prayed about. Not just the other person, but for me to pray for people as well in that same way. So that is key focus for the day. And gratitude reflection. 3 battles I've seen prayer win in me or around me. So you can pick up, right, any 3 things that you've noticed, that you've seen prayer help win. So I wrote sickness and being healed. Because I think even like my asthma too, that I had, like I was healed and never had to go to the hospital and use an inhaler in I don't know how many years. And for me to even get sick with any any like I now know the triggers. Essentially, I know the triggers, like the things that will trigger any sort of respiratory irritation. And this is now just like normal for anyone else, I think, at this point. So now I know the things and of yeah, so I just think that it's something that was just that I prayed about and it worked. Like I don't know how to explain it, but just the way that it happened. I had to go through a lot of things, but in the end, it worked out, right? Because I was just so obedient. Like I think about it, it's almost like when Moses was raising the staff as well, and there's certain things that I also got guidance on, and just God telling me, okay, do this, do this, do that, and I just follow that, and I look at it now as an adult. I'm like, yeah, that was actually God's hand and God speaking to me as well. And I was young, but when I reflect back, I'm like, okay, like now I have a bit more perspective and context as I read the Bible. Say, okay, this is actually what was going on. So that's something that I would say for me. That was definitely prayer that was working. And then the second thing is boundless wisdom and provision. Like God grants wisdom, God grants provision, protection, everything, just in ways that we don't even understand, that we take for granted. And sometimes when you start speaking, you actually realize that, okay, you're actually grasping a situation and you've been shown or given wisdom in a situation. So that is something that prayer brings as well, just by praying and taking time to really think about that, having a conversation with God about it. And the third thing is like spiritual strongholds that are broken. Like I've seen that myself, other people, just through prayer, and not just through prayer, because that is a battle. So that is a big thing, and probably the biggest of them all. I mean, they're all kind of the same, because the strongholds could be linked to sickness as well. So anyway, but other strongholds in other people, I've seen that. Okay, so let us pray. This is our morning prayer and declaration in the journal. Father, teach me to fight from my knees. Let my prayers move mountains and my worship silence fear. When I'm tempted to fight in my own strength, remind me that stillness is not surrender, it's strategy. In Jesus' name, amen.